Putting practice is the most important thing you can do as a disc golfer. So now let me tell you what I do. My grip is a pretty traditional grip. Some people will have all 4 fingers on the bottom side. I like to have 1 finger on the rim. That helps me with control. I know that's an area of contention for some people, but for me that helps give me control, and my other 3 fingers are fanned out. Now, there is a big discussion about whether you should be a spin putter versus a push putter. Here's the thing, you should be a practice putter. Whatever style you pick, if you practice it a lot, it's going to work. That's the thing, you have to practice, you have to practice. But with that being said, spin putting is obviously better, and let me tell you why. For me, what spin putting allows me to do is I can keep the exact same form, and that putt would be good from about 15 feet on up to 30, 35 feet, and I won't really have to change anything. Whereas if I was coming at it at an angle, about every couple of feet worth of distance in my putt, I'm going to have to change the angle of my throw. But with a spin putt, I'm going in a straight line, and it's just a matter of how far the basket is away as to where I'm going to hit it. So for me, that's what I like to do, because it's something that I can easily repeat, and it gives me a chance to be more successful. So let's step over here and I'll kind of walk you through the ins and the outs of my putt. So I'm going to have a staggered stance with my leading foot, so the foot of the hand that I'm putting with, my right foot, is going to be forward, and my body is going to be on a line with the basket. That's very important because it's going to allow me to do everything that I need to do in the direction that I need to go. Because remember, even if you're just a couple of degrees off, for every, as the putt gets longer and longer, those little degrees are going to make a huge difference. So I want to keep this as consistent as I can. So I've got my grip, I've got my stance, my knees are loose. What I like to do for my putt is I like to think about everything I'm going to do. So I'm picking out a chain link, I'm thinking about how the wind is going to affect my putt. For a spin putt, the wind, a left or right wind, so long as I keep it flat, it doesn't really mess with the disc too much. However, with a spin putt, a headwind or a tailwind is going to really affect the putt. So if it's a headwind, I want to aim low, knowing that the wind is going to lift the disc. If it's a tailwind, I want to aim high, knowing that the wind is going to drop the disc. But other than that, I'm trying to stay about the middle of the basket as far as up and down, and I like to aim about 1 or 2 links to the right for me personally, because that way, if the disc starts slowing down and begins to hyzer, all that does is bring me to the middle of the basket. Now, right before I putt, I get everything ready. What I like to do is I actually squat down just a little bit, because I tend to find that when I'm not thinking about my putt, when I'm not in a good rhythm, I tend to leave it short. So squatting down like this, it puts me in a position where I have to use my legs, and that generally gives me enough power to get back into the middle if I'm a little bit off. And then right before it's time to putt, I try to completely clear my mind of everything, so that when I'm actually putting, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm letting my body remember the 10,000 putts that I've thrown, and that it's just going to happen because I've put the work in. Occasionally I'm going to miss, a lot more recently. However, what I'm going to do is trust that that practice works, and that it's going to come and it's going to work in the long run. So I get set, I aim where I'm going to go, I squat down, then I release my mind of everything, and then I just execute the putt that I know I can do. And that's what works for me.